You've received the wisdom of the two fingers, have you not? Then I bid you welcome, as a true member of the Roundtable.
Hello and welcome to the first ever, not even first, zero episode of Roundtable Hold, our fortnightly discussion show, companion show to RETRY Elden Ring.
I don't even know what Roundtable Hold is.
I was going to save
that's
anything
the thing,
spoiled.
yeah.
I've had to spoil it for this show.
Yeah.
This isn't where we're going to be doing the show in future.
No.
We've got our own roundtable. It's actually more like triangular.
Pyramid table.
Toblerone table. So we'll be in the future. But episode 0, we're going to be on the set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, first question. What do you guys know about Elden Ring? Right now, this is like, we're going to start filming today. Later today, we're starting to film. Anything spoiled for you, apart from Roundtable Hold?
Well, the only thing I've had spoiled for me is I made a joke on Twitter on the release day. I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I made a joke just going, how many fucking Welshies are in this or something like that. And then turns out I didn't realize the sort of vein that I'd hit because there is a lot of Welsh actors in it.
Really?
So I didn't, and at that point nobody knew what their names was or anything like that, because on the IMDb it just had, this is how early this was, on the IMDb it just had all the actors' names but no character names. So I went through and I was like, oh,
you're checking IMDb?
Well, I just looked at like, because someone was like, oh, there's loads in it. I was like, bullshit, someone's winding me up. So I just opened it up, checked that there was no character names, names. It was just actors and actresses. And I just went through and then had a look. But that's one thing I know. And I know Blythe, because I know I'm wearing his armor or his costume in the art that we had made. And Blythe means wolf, so I can infer something from that. So.
Wow, you know a lot more than I do, at least.
but only by virtue.
That's what I know.
Yeah,
That's
only by virtue
know.
of knowing the word Blythe. But it'd be like, that's the thing. It's like if you were like, oh, Dark Souls 1, like the one of the baddies is called Gwyn. I'd be like, white. What does that mean? But with Blythe, I guess you can infer a little bit more.
That guy's all white, man.
Yeah, about his personality and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing. And I can just remember, like, I think it was like what are those things called? The anvils, like an anvil from like the first trailer or something, or like a forge, like a blacksmith. Yeah.
Well,
just fucking smashing shit.
Later on in this first episode, episode 0, we're going to watch the pre-release trailers.
Right.
Ooh.
So, you know, if you were into this game, that is stuff you would have seen.
Yeah. Well,
and you've already seen
it.
You've seen the announcement trailer.
Yeah. Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty safe, isn't it, though, in terms of FromSoft games? A guy hitting something with a big rock. It's like, yeah, we've seen that.
It depends what you take away from it, doesn't it?
Oh my god, what's
Depends
next?
what the
A
rock
big
is.
spooky castle in a swamp.
Yeah, it's a man hitting a rock, but like, who's the man and who's the rock?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
that's true.
That would be an interesting one. Maybe
it's like a man putting out a fire. Oh, what's that mean? Well, it can mean the end of humanity.
Yeah. Who's the man?
That would be an interesting thing for us to look at in maybe, because I guess like the cool, when we were talking about like Roundtable Hold, we were talking about like we want to do things that we don't talk about on the show a little bit more, and like that would be really good to look at, like, because I can remember the Sekiro tease, and it's the arm, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the thing.
I was going to say, like, from our playthrough, you go, what was that arm thing about?
So disconnected. Yeah, because people were like,
to put in the trailer.
It weirdly played such a small part in the larger narrative.
Like,
so
I can see FIFA leading with shots of the ball, but
they should have put more monkeys in it.
Yeah,
there's monkeys all over.
Right? Just fucking monkeys, booze. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you ask other people, it'd be like, oh, name like one like word to describe that. It'd be different from our words.
It'd be a lot different. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the only thing that I know really. Like I've seen very little of it. We had to go with that stress test, like the network stress test before while back.
Oh,
but I mean, you get fuck all.
You didn't
from
know
that.
No, I didn't know that.
You weren't in that day.
I thought you were saying a stress test like you had to play the game and someone had
that's
your heart
our
rate.
playthrough. That's our playthrough.
Yeah.
That would have been, well, the game came out in like Feb 2022.
Yeah.
So I don't know when.
I think that was like November 2020. I think
that's because we were in the old studio.
Yeah.
We actually do have footage of that.
Oh,
really?
Playing it that we could release at some point.
Yeah,
in the
that'd be
future.
fun.
It's quite fun, yeah.
But just at Boston, you could see the changes.
Yeah,
they did make changes to the game from then until now. Similar to what they did with Bloodborne, because when they did the stress test for Bloodborne, it was an early game section of the game. It's early Yarnum, and you see an amygdala on a tower in the background.
Yeah,
early on, way before you would normally see it in the game.
Right.
And I remember the stress going,
what the fuck is that? Yeah,
because that was still very much at the time when it was the werewolf game.
Right,
And you were like,
hunting beasts.
what is the spider alien doing on the church?
Yeah.
And it just got people like on, because not everyone had access to that.
Yeah.
Screenshots. They obviously did that very intentional to get a conversation going.
A bit of-
because people on Reddit going,
what the hell
is that?
Yeah.
And then when you play the game, it's not actually there.
I
But
guess
it's invisible, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it'd be a similar thing of like going back to that Sekiro the 2 Sekiro preview events that we did. We did one at Gamescom, and then we did one in London, didn't we? Like early doors at RKG, where we got to go play and we turned you into a samurai /
That's right.
ninja
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And then if you look
Sensitively.
at us, yeah, so I guess if you looked at us playing that, you'd be like, what is happening? Because also I think they did a really particularly bad job at one of those previews of telling us like buttons.
How to play? Yeah.
Mostly,
I got spanked. It was so
it's
bad.
quite a hard game to get thrown into. To be fair, like I feel like when we were explaining the riposte mechanic in Sekiro, sometimes we didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
you
Like,
just
there's,
gotta
like-
spend time with it.
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I wasn't joking. All I know about this game is this background that you guys bought, and I found out about it yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Seriously, like nothing.
genuinely, I think as soon as the game was about to come out, I muted
Yeah.
a bunch of keywords on Twitter, never unmuted them. So I just forgot to. So nothing has slipped through the
So
cracks.
you must have seen a
seen,
snippet
like-
of gameplay.
Like someone on a horse riding through a field. Like that's really it. I know nothing
Interesting.
nothing beyond that.
A thing has happened as well to me, which I thought would happen, and that I did the same thing as you, and I think we use Twitter very differently to how I would have used Twitter at IGN now, where it'd be like, I feel like then I was constantly on the internet and constantly seeing things, whereas I muted stuff so
That's
well.
why you had that haunted look about you a lot of the time.
That's
far away
like,
today.
Don't look now. It's like invasion of the body.
I've been up since 4 looking at the internet.
But what a thing has happened where, and I knew this would happen, where something slipped through the cracks. So I saw names of bosses.
Which people just put stuff up
Exactly,
untagged.
yeah. And I saw a name of a particular boss that everyone was like, what the fuck? I can't, but I knew I wouldn't remember it. I knew I wouldn't remember when it came to us doing it. So I can't.
I think I vaguely remember you saying.
So I don't even know. I don't even want to say it because I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're referring to, and I'm not
Yeah.
going to say here for these people, for patrons, is when I played the game, something came up, and I was like, I know people are going to start saying that to Gav.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
And I think it happened in the
Oh.
Facebook group.
Right.
Because I think because it's a funny joke, and I feel like it's a joke we will one day make.
Right.
In 9 months' time or whatever, when it happens.
Yeah.
I can see us riffing on it, and it's like
Right.
people were pre-riffing,
Right.
preempting
right.
the riff. They've already watched the
Yeah.
whole series in their heads.
Yeah, they had to make it for themselves.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because when we launched that image that we were with our amazing what was this guy's what's his full name?
Pedro.
Pedro, yeah. So when we were worked with him on like the sort of teaser image of us, some people were like, "Oh, Gav's Blythe, that's amazing," and then someone replied on Twitter going, it would have been nice to see him know that name. Probably nice reply going, hey, just so you know, I did already see it. I'm sure there's a lot of surprises. That same person goes, yeah, I can't wait to see your reaction to this name. I've forgotten it already, but I was just like, what are you doing?
But it's like hearing anything untethered from context makes it harder to remember.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's like when you hear a brand new name, if you've never known that, not familiar with that name, or know someone with that name, it's hard for that name to stick as greatly.
Definitely, yeah.
But because there's also a lot of chat with that teaser image that we put out, and if people haven't seen it, go check out our like Twitters or it's our patron header at the minute.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
A lot of chat about what you were gonna wear. And
Yeah.
like, we had to give instruction to Pedro what for you to wear, and I was like, going through all the armor sets, it's like, I think this is an armor set you would really like.
Okay.
But
okay.
putting you in that armor, therefore, then spoils that armor for you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
have like a weird conception of it when you see it for the first time in game.
Yeah.
So I'm going, I think you'd love this armor. But then weirdly, putting you in that armor, I'm robbing you of that moment of seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
If it's any consolation, I forgot Gav was a wolf already. So
It's a classic example of me thinking about things too much.
he said, I was like, oh yeah, you're a wolf.
That's like the fucking You know the basketball,
Who's he?
the perception test, where it's just like how many times they throw the ball. But did you see the dancing bear? Like, did you see Gav as a wolf?
I was already zooming in on all the little like references in the picture because there's so many cute little
Gavin,
references.
Daniel, Rory.
A bench. It's all there.
Do you know where you are?
That's class. That's brilliant.
So there you go. So
what-
don't worry, it's all right.
This is
That's
not-
the thing, context though, isn't it? Like, you got
It was
no
con-
context.
and
Like,
because
100%,
people are
yeah.
asking what it is. It's like you're basically just in one of the starting armors because
Yeah.
you are the person going on the adventure.
Love it.
yeah.
So that kind of like makes sense. It's better than you having something super extravagant. Going,
Yeah.
that looks insane.
yeah.
To be fair, yeah, I might have remembered it then if it was something like glowing or
Yeah,
spiky or
something too
like
distinctive. Because talking about spoilers, one thing I'm not going to show you later is the launch trailer.
Right.
I had to like die from my laptop to get it off.
Jesus.
Because I was obviously really excited for this game coming out
Yeah.
and knew it was good, like just as someone who likes these games, to play it myself. But knowing this was going to be the world we were going to inhabit for years potentially,
Yeah.
and it was going to be a big thing for us. I watched the launch trailer and it shows you so much, so much that I would not have ever I would have, if I experienced it for the first time myself, I would have gone, this game has depths that I never
Yeah.
knew existed. Like, basically, imagine doing a launch trailer for Bloodborne where you're in the Nightmare Realm.
Right.
Here's
Oh,
Amygdala.
yeah.
Here's Abritus. She's below a church. You're like, whoa, there's aliens in this game.
Yeah,
Imagine not knowing,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And there's lots in Elden Ring that this trailer, it's a great trailer because it's
Yeah.
so varied and it makes you go, fuck, this game looks amazing.
Thing is, I can kind of
for
annoyingly,
a
I can
wider
see
crowd.
why they need to do it. Yeah,
For
because
a wider crowd, it's like,
go, there's some
man,
other stuff in here.
This isn't,
Yeah.
this isn't your daddy's Zelda.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically, it's like, this is that From game, but at the same time, you're like, I just didn't need to.
Yeah, it's hard,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's really like it's a really hard job to market that because it's such a big game that you just go, we've got to show them something. Otherwise, we're just showing in this fucking starting area all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like that
And
big-
also, the starting area is always the most kind of generic.
Exactly,
It's like
yeah.
foresty.
Yeah.
Just here's standard fantasy level.
Yeah.
And then before we'll take you to these
Exactly.
other
So
regions.
if you don't
Yeah.
show anyone in any of those regions, it's
You don't know
like,
they're in the game.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't know what you're
And
even buying.
like that's where I think marketing conflicts with obviously just FromSoft's fundamental philosophy of making games.
Yeah.
Where Paint World of Ariamis, I never even found it.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
every other game is like, here's every bit of fucking content we ever made.
Yeah.
Look at it, enjoy it.
It's hard. Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Like, I'm glad I didn't watch that.
I'm going to ask you a question at the beginning of this episode, and I'm going to ask you the question again at the end after we watch the trailers.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want to take a guess? What do you think? What do you think the Elden Ring is? If you had to like have a guess,
Is it?
It's gonna be something nuts. It's gonna be something absolutely nuts.
like you can work collaboratively if you'd
it's
like.
hard because it's hard because I would think
Because it denotes a very fancy thing, doesn't it?
does, yeah.
And I think that is intentional.
Yes.
Because, like, you know.
So I was thinking it was kind of Lord of the Ringsy, and as in like there is a ring that one person wore that kind of chilled everyone out, right? So it was this like
chill ring.
like war was happening and shit, and they're like, right, we're not gonna do like a bunch of rings like Lord of the Rings.
It was one of those rings that was also
Like,
a bottle opener.
yeah,
So it just
it-
chilled everyone
yeah,
out.
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
like, hey, check out this thing can do.
like no, you go.
Because I watched that Lord of the Rings TV show, it's like, you're right, make too many rings.
Yeah, too many rings. Make one ring.
Because also, like, the plan is, like, Sauron then gets to the blacksmith and goes, can you make me a separate one?
Yeah, and he's
It's
like,
like,
yeah,
just
sick.
make
Don't
one.
worry, yeah.
The one to rule the... Oh,
that's
he's made
what
it
I mean.
secret.
Make a bunch of necklaces, one
Yeah.
ring.
But did they? That's the
what I
thing.
say.
Brooches.
As old lazy Miyazaki gone, tell you what, instead of making all those rings, we'll just make one ring.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the Elden Ring.
We've already got ring assets.
Yeah, we already got the ring assets. So it's absolutely fine. So I think maybe it's like a ring that sort of denoted power, and for some reason something has happened to her, and because we're always coming in from games after the fact.
Yeah.
So I think, are we coming in after a period of peace where something has happened to the Elden Ring?
You know we are.
Like,
It's not going to, like... It's great.
and we've
It's
got to
gone
fix
to
it, and we've
shit.
got to fix it. That's our job.
It's basically like Farmville. You
Ring
just gotta-
fixers.
Ring fixers.
I don't know.
We could do a little infomercial, ring fixers.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I thought was something like that. Like,
Cowers, you led with, it's going to be something fucking nuts.
I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be wilder than that. You went for like an actual ring, like a physical
Oh, okay,
object.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be something crazy.
Nice.
Because he loves rings, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even in Dark Souls, the big
yeah, that's
orange
true. Actually.
ring.
Dark
Yeah,
sign.
The
yeah,
dark
yeah,
sign
yeah.
is like a big ring, so maybe it's more of like a a thing, a sign.
Yeah, you could be right, because like the logo for it, which I'm not a fan of, because again, out of context, I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. It just looks shite. Also, as people who try to design things around their like shows, be like, so how do we incorporate that? Fuck off. But with that, it's like, because that's got a bunch of rings on it.
Yeah.
So rings.
It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be something mad. It's gonna be some portal or thing that existed ages ago.
Portals. I love that.
Or it created life and then it got corrupted by men and beasts and turned the world to ash.
As a portal, it lets shite in. Like, and now because
two-way portal,
because it's
like
been
a reverse
broken,
bumhole.
because it's been broken.
Let shit in. No, you don't eat shit to poop shit. A mouth doesn't eat shit, so you have to...
This is why we did a companion show.
You've said the opposite to that before.
Because we never tackle that in the show.
You've said the opposite of that in the show before, because you were just like, if I'm eating shit, am I pooping out super shit?
You were talking shit.
No, I said I poop food.
Yeah.
A reverse bumhole isn't a mouth.
Let's go back.
I stand by that.
Let's take a couple of steps back. I think Paul's quite good, because I guess this game has got to be massive, and we know that he likes to go off the deep end in terms of like designs of monsters and things.
Yeah.
So it can't just be fucking knights and shields and shit like that.
Yeah,
he's got at some point he's got to be like, well, you know, I want something giant in it.
And he
that's
loves
not of this world.
Freak you out.
Yeah,
he loves smashing worlds together.
Yeah,
So maybe it's
so
like
Portal
the Elden Ring
works
was
like
how
that,
the world's all connected, and now these ancient gods are all.
So maybe like the Elden Ring was stopping that from happening. The Elden Ring gets smashed, and now all these portals, we don't know.
I think we're nailing it, guys.
All these worlds are now being chucked together, and we've got to put the Elden Ring back together to then put the worlds back in their naughty.
It's gonna be
It's
gonna be getting bits of a thing to reassemble the Elden Ring. I bet for sure.
Because I guess that's an idea as well that we've seen before. Like Demon Souls is really good for that, where it's like the different worlds that we go to are very different, you know. Like, but in this one, they've just all smashed into one.
Yeah,
that's why the game is so big.
It's got to be right. Yeah.
I like this. Portal.
Just learn some of that coding.
Yeah.
Be interesting in like a year, 18 months time, whenever we're done, to rewatch this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mark yourselves.
Yeah.
Grade yourself. Because I think people at home would be playing like a little bit of Elden Ring bingo there.
Yeah.
Going, oh.
Yeah, they're like going the right way.
And they're wrong.
Said reverse bumhole.
Yeah.
Straight off the other
that's
side.
not a big thing in it, unfortunately.
Well, what are we doing now?
Damn it. I think we hit on some themes. I could see like a little glisten behind your eyes when certain things were said. So hopefully,
broken clock's right twice a day.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go. Well, we'll watch that back.
And 2 broken clocks.
Yeah.
They're right 4 times.
4 times a day. That's true, actually. Yeah.
Unless they're set to the same time.
Unless they're set at the same time. Maybe got broken at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe we got broken at the same time. I don't know.
Anyway, next section.
Yeah.
We've had some questions about how we're approaching this.
Yes. Yeah.
There are obviously, you'll find out later today, there are some similarities with the games that we've played in this format before, but there's obviously a lot of differences. It's the first like genuinely open world game we've played. And Davs in the patron on the Discord said, for those who have never played and likely will never play Elden Ring, how accessible do you think the series will be? Obviously with Rory playing it for the first time, you'll be explaining stuff to him, finding things in the world, but you can't put every little comment, explanation, discussion you have into the series. So this comes back to this question of the idea of free will versus a guiding hand. Because if we're just like cutting so close to the storyline and going from boss to key boss, keeping on a very tight thread, we kind of ruin the game because you stop playing it like an open world game, and that is how it is intended and how it is designed, and people will just be watching and going,
what's the point of that?
It's basically become Dark Souls.
We're
playing it on a night, like going down a tight corridor. So I think that's something that I really don't have the answer to, and we talked about it a bit this week, is I think the first week of filming, which is this week, something we're going to have to like get a feeling for.
For
like
sure.
How much is like fun exploration, how much is just like interminable digression. You're like, we should be on this beach for 5 hours now.
Because I do tend to wander quite aimlessly.
But that could lead to some like really funny spontaneous moments. Because it's an open world, like something wild could just happen. And you go, what a great moment that gave us. But nothing like that can be orchestrated.
No, because I think like if you think about the way that I think we kind of talked about it was like, if you talk to anybody about something like Breath of the Wild, right, which people went bonkers for that open world. If you were sitting in the pub talking with someone about Breath of the Wild, very rarely are you like, oh, that Ganon fight was fucking brilliant. Oh, I love that beast fight. You're talking about your own personal story, your own personal thing that happened. The same with Red Dead as well. Like, you might talk about like some of the like sad bits, some of the happy bits in the storyline. More often than not, you're gonna go, oh, and I used to do this thing when I used to go off and do this. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and I think
yeah.
for us not to have that in our playthrough would be a bit of a shame, because that is how those games are meant to be played. This is why this game is so massive.
It's definitely a big component of it, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like, that's what, and I think, like, not that the boss fights aren't brilliant,
Yeah.
but it's just those bits that everyone experiences the same.
100%,
So there's a difference
yeah.
between something being like idiosyncratic,
Yeah.
and it's like, fuck, I never even saw that.
Yeah.
And then, but I think what's fun and what works about our shows is they're viewed by a lot of people who know these games well.
Yeah.
So you get like the dramatic tension of like, they know what's coming.
Yeah.
They know what you're about to
Oh,
see with a little
100%,
bit. So
yeah.
having a balance of the two things is essential. But I just don't know about the rhythm of like,
Yeah.
because you don't want me going, just go up there.
Yeah.
Because it's an open world, because it's actually quite hard to direct.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And you don't want to be like intrusive.
No.
I mean, while that is true, if you're worried that there's things I might miss in the game
Yeah.
while adventuring around, I missed my train stop on the way to work today.
bode well,
So
doesn't it? Like-
definitely some very...
It's a 2-stop train. I just on that note. It's not like a big commute.
It's literally, I think, 7 minutes, and I somehow messed it up. So
I think you
the
could do
gentle
door to door in
guidance,
7 minutes. Like-
gentle guidance
Just walk it.
would be.
Yeah.
I was running late, so I had to get
Yeah,
a train.
yeah.
So, but gentle guidance is appreciated.
I
would
think
say.
like that. The interesting thing is like what we've said since the start is like we are approaching this in a different way to how we've done other things, because it's a very different game to anything that we've played before, and I think that is a good thing.
Yeah. I think, because I think we want you to make your own choices, because
Yeah.
that's what creates your playthrough. I think we've said sometimes in the language we want to make the definitive. That doesn't mean the same as exhaustive.
No.
Or encyclopedic. It's
Yeah.
just like, here's a great playthrough.
Yeah, totally.
Here's not showing you every single bit. It's not
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Wikipedia page for Elden Ring.
There's
Yeah.
other videos for that. online.
But what I think would be good, and I think people at home would appreciate, is at least if we set off with as many options open to us as possible,
Yeah.
i.e. as many NPCs in play as possible,
Yeah,
rather
sure.
than too many are like
100%,
missed early on.
yeah.
So I feel like the first few episodes might be more just checking.
Yeah.
We've got all the plates spinning, and then as we go and we progress more in the story, you make the choices.
Yeah.
We just like, here they're all on offer for you, Rory.
Yeah.
And then you're the person, because you're the player, you're the proxy for the viewer. It's like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like that, you know, the way to talk about like how we're approaching it as a very different show as well. We're talking about it as like you've already got, like we've been sat in the pub and stuff like that where you've already got ideas like, oh, I've got a really good idea for what could be like a 3-episode miniseries or this episode. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I could do this little one-off and things like that. It's like what we are putting out isn't that we're not finished with Elden Ring when we put those episodes out. It's like we might go back to it, we might have a look at other things, you know.
It's so weird, like the planning and the talks that have gone into this show and the production behind it, because it feels like we're going to an airport
Yeah.
to go on holiday, but only he knows where the destination
Yeah.
is.
Stag do.
Yeah.
So
But
you're
the
stag
holiday
do.
is going to last 9 months,
Yeah.
or even longer. So it's
And he
like,
packed everything.
yeah, literally, it's such a weird thing to kind of like wrap my head around.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
But I think like that's the things, like we did a little test yesterday, like, and that was the first time we've been back filming together for ages. And I know it was not too much stress in that, but I feel like once we're going, we'll be like, it's exactly what we are good at doing, I think.
Yeah, I think that's I think I'm the most stressed or anxious about it. Just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
there's a lot on me, like being
Yeah.
candid, like because I've seen like so many comments this week that have like done my nutting, where it's just like, a lot of pressure on Krupa. You better not fuck this up. Like on YouTube, and it's just like,
Yeah.
come on, mate. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like things like, oh, they missed this. It's like,
Fuck off.
Yeah.
but then people wouldn't like it if I was like, go around this corner.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
I think I'm most conscious about that in the early episodes. It's just making sure we've like met this person.
Yeah,
And there's a
yeah,
way,
yeah.
hopefully, it happens naturally.
Yeah.
And if not, then I might just go, hey, just go around this corner, because I know you love this guy.
Absolutely, yeah. I think like that's the thing. Also, it's just like what we got to say all the time is like, while we're all playing together, this is very much your playthrough. These are your choices that you make, and we've always done that. Like from every game, it's like any game that come up with a choice, it's always your choice to make. Do you know what I mean? So it's like if Cruz is just like, oh no, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Suddenly I was like, that's not a very fun experience for you, and people aren't watching the same thing.
Yeah, and it's like because there might be characters you just really like, and you're like, I want to progress that. But then sometimes with Dark Souls, like, or Souls games, it's quite opaque what is the right answer.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we checked stuff? And like, to be fair, in the previous series, we've like wanted to keep them going, so we're like checking that we're doing the right one.
100%. Yeah.
Because we've just wanted to keep progressing it. Yeah. But like, even then, you might say what you think is a positive answer, and it has a bad outcome, or because you live in a world that is morally ambiguous. That maybe there are no happy endings for some people, even though you do the right thing. But that's always been a thing that he does in his games.
It's interesting that we're bringing this up on here, and the reason for it as well is like, this is kind of what the idea behind this show was as well, is that we wanted to do like a nice companion thing, and we wanted to, we don't want it to make it feel like, oh, we've missed out on anything, because I personally will not feel like we've missed out on anything. Even like you go back to like Dark Souls 1 where we let Onion Knight die, that I wasn't disappointed. I was like, that was our story, that was our adventure.
Like, I think that's a good example of what we could do on this format. Is like, do you guys remember what happened to Onion Knight? If you pursued it to the end?
Yeah. No.
He ended up in the lake with his daughter.
He does, yeah. But like, we've never seen you guys react to that footage.
Yeah.
So for instance, like, that would never have been in the main playthrough.
No.
We might have talked about it on a podcast, or I've told you on the show.
Yeah.
But like in here, I can still tell you on the show if you like, say in Elden Ring, you ask me, well, what does happen to the Knight if we done it well? I can sort of tell you like I did on the original show. Yeah. But in this format, I could show you footage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just like a little bit of a footnote. I feel like this show is like good footnotes for the main show. So you don't really need to read the footnotes to understand the main show.
Yeah.
People who are just watching, not on Patreon, get the whole thing. It's like, sometimes this could be just like a little tiny thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And luckily,
you could tell us like a bunch of, you could keep track of all the Welsh stuff in the game.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, Welsh special.
Definitely, yeah.
And because
I assume that will be its own section by
no, but like that could be,
yeah.
And because I'm probably just gonna blast through it, we'll have so much time to fill.
Yeah,
you sold that really well, and I was like, oh, that was a joke.
He's being a dickhead.
Because what I'm doing is like, I've started a new game that I'm going to be playing parallel to you.
That's wild.
Just like double check everything like the week before we film.
Yeah.
And also because I've never actually played it, so it's just better that I keep one episode ahead.
Yeah, that's you've got to stay one episode ahead of him. That's it.
But what was I going to say then?
Sorry.
Oh, I've been like really unsure of like, I have no idea how hard you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
I find it
bosses?
just the opening bit, just like the general like level of it, because it's an open world. You could like just spend 10 hours getting really strong if you wanted to. So I actually find it really hard to know. And this is what we're talking about, like digression versus focus. Is like, we don't want like the first major boss to be episode 10.
No.
Yeah, you got
But there are obviously lots of sub bosses, so we might just hit our head against a wall.
Yeah.
And this becomes like what's he called from Sekiro?
Jinzu Kazaze. Yeah.
That is like, weirdly, that has become episode 2 boss.
Yeah.
Just because we really like it. And
absolutely, yeah.
So it's like kind of rolling with what we get, rather than Demon
yeah.
Souls was the easiest to plot because the structure is the most simple.
Yeah.
I just want to go. I'm getting so excited, man. I just want to hop in.
So one more question on our
close.
approach before going. Jay Armstrong said, because we're about to meet New Finchie. We don't even know what New Finchie is right now. He says, I was wondering if maybe you'll veer away from the tried and true melee shield combo for Elden Finchie and get Rory to explore new types of things.
What? Straight away, he was just like, one of us, huh?
Watch this. Hard cut, 12 hours time. He's shaking good. Can I have a spell? Can I have a spell?
First off,
big sword, big shield.
I don't have a long history of using the shield.
Yes.
So we can take that out right now. Yeah.
You like to carry it out?
On my back,
yeah.
We do use a lot of melee weapons. To be fair, I'd like to say they've been pretty varied.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the alternative? Is spells then, essentially, isn't it? I guess
it's different. Well, to use the equivalent of Dark Souls to not ruin anything, there's sorcery, there's faith magic. We've never like Popper had some faith just for the chinning mitts, but we've never used prayers.
Yeah.
Incantations, that kind of like lighter magic.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 3, there was like evil magic, hexes. There's like, Dark Souls 2, there was hexes.
Yeah.
So there's like magic can be, or you can use pyromancy, We did a bit of that.
True. We did use a bit of fire.
Or you can use like a blend of things, can't you?
Yeah.
I think like maybe we'll, because it'll just be going for longer. Maybe we'll try a little thing. But I feel like you're a sword guy. Like
we brute force it.
You like fighting.
Yeah. Mostly because mostly because I think that's how I feel most comfortable in boss fights.
Yeah.
Is getting really close, learning the roles.
Well, you love an AK.
Loads
is what
of
you
times
love. Like, you'd love a gun.
There's guns.
Like,
if there's guns, we're doing guns.
Remember when he found out there were guns in Bloodborne? And you're like, but it kind of works like a shield. What?
Live it. Absolutely
7 bullets.
Didn't stop me. I was just going. Trying to blast people, and then I hit myself with a cannon as well.
It was all good times.
Good stuff. Many more to come.
All good stuff.
And we didn't really discuss what Finchy's going to be either.
No.
And then this is what we were thinking about is when you go, there's no wrong decision because whatever we decide on, the character comes later, and then that becomes you go. Always had to be this Finchy.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I think. And I also as well, like you're bringing in the things like bringing in for this show as well, bringing in things that other people have said, and that'll become like a huge part of it, which I think has been really, really lovely.
Yeah, because obviously we're recording these pre-release, so we're getting comments from the Discord and elsewhere, but eventually we're going to be threading through YouTube comments, Twitter comments, because we don't really know what's going to become like a big thing for us in this playthrough.
No.
We don't know, like we'll probably be fielding loads of questions about Finchy's backstory.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's our approach. We're going to it's going to weird, like just by the end of today, we'll have a better idea of all of these things.
100%. Yeah. Which is brilliant. Which I love. That's why I love recording this now.
Yeah.
So we look back on this in 18 months' time. Like, look how different we are. Like, look how different we're looking. Like, you probably lost about 4 stone. Just like
out of stress.
No smiles, no laughing at anything. Shut the fuck up.
That's the future I want for myself. Right, it's like end of term. Do you want me to bring the TV in to watch some videos?
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Video time. You ready?
I'm ready, baby.
So
let's do it.
Watching Return of the Jedi.
So this is what we watched when we were out in LA.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
2009.
19.
Oh, 19.
Jeez.
I should have brought my glasses.
You think it took us a long time to make this series? Took a fucking...
It's like, why do we never talk about this on Prepared to Try? You madman. This doesn't bode well. Have you not actually brought your glasses?
I didn't bring my glasses.
What are you doing?
It's a big TV. We'll be fine. Fine.
Obviously not.
Further away.
Nothing will be that small, right?
The text in the game will be smaller than that one on the YouTube.
A boss, he's like, how far away is he? You're in that case. I love it.
Never change.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so this came out in 2019, this trailer. Do you remember where you were in 2019? Summer of 2019 while this played?
No.
We've got footage of you
that
we'll insert right now. We were together at E3. It was our first E3 of RKG.
We were
in that, that we rented with the Infinity Wall and the organ.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Probably just had my first. What do we have? What takeaway did we have that I'd never had before? Jack in the Box.
We had a bunch.
We went to a Jack in the Box.
If you look close to the footage of you, Daniel, in 2019.
I wish I liked those photos more because we got some really good photos of us like fucking about on the Infinity Wall. We'll make an Infinity Wall. Fuck it, it's fine.
We'll build it here.
We'll show them.
So this is you both will have seen this. This is the original announcement trailer.
Okay.
I don't know what the volume's on. Let's see.
Yeah, whatever.
So I've seen this before?
You have.
Yeah.
But 2019, so
2009.
Not in 2009. I don't know what you were doing.
That looked like an onion.
This is what Gav was talking about. The anvil.
That's
this
the
is
thing,
it.
yeah.
That's-
So I was thinking.
Right, Gav, let's dissect this shit.
Are you doing a live rewind theory?
Smashing shite.
Just proving all your theories, right?
George
Oh, yeah.
I actually forgot that.
Yeah, no one fucking talks about that anymore, do they?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Have you thought about having some green trees now? Thanks, George. Cheers, mate.
Big hand, lots of hands.
Ah.
Those are the hands of the
crown.
king, I bet, that sit around that shit.
A ring? Crown could be a ring, I guess.
What did he say?
I missed it. What did he say?
Oh,
Go back.
That which commanded the stars, giving life its fullest brilliance.
That's sick armor. Look at the fluff on that. Look at the hand as well. Yeah. Cracking up.
shattered by someone or something.
The ring shattered.
Got it.
The portal open.
Tell me you don't see it.
Look at that beefcake.
Sky,
He's a bit Ganon-y, isn't he?
it burns.
I'm so excited.
Gotta fix it? Give bits to fix it or something?
Bob the Builder. Let's fucking fix it.
Whoo! That's a good trailer.
I got really excited, then I was just like, I forgot for a second that it wasn't 2019 and we didn't have to wait because we're going to play it this
right now.
afternoon.
I was like, that looks wicked. It's like, we're
More
doing it in
trailers
an
should be
hour.
like
And it's
that.
like, it's out today. But that only happens with fucking Unravel 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Unravel 2. Yeah, that all that shite. Look. Oh, is that a person?
Bunch of rings.
Yeah.
Oh, not you. Wow.
Okay.
So that's the announcement trailer.
Yeah.
Says everything, says nothing at all. Who knows?
Yeah. So we kind of, what we got right from that, we kind of got something smashing, the ring being broken.
Being
We
broken,
got that.
yeah.
A ring also could be not a ring as well. I think we kind of got that a little bit from it.
It's like a goldeny kind. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't
Ring
look
of
like it's
arms
a.
as
It's
well,
not a
the
ring
crown,
of. It's not a
like-
finger ring. It looks like a thing, a big thing.
But then broken by someone or something. That's fucking cool.
I mean, if that thing's broken, we're putting it back together for sure. If that's
the Ganon fella that you saw,
Yeah.
that was a guy. That was, remember I told you when I went to the Hello Games Halloween party and there was a slug there and he was dressed up like that and he said, and I was like, oh, what are you dressed up as? And he was like, you'll find out. I've got a
that's
photo
a
on my
hard
phone.
costume to. He was
You look
dressed
good.
like that.
Yeah.
We'll chuck it up. I'll show you in
You
a
need
sec
to do
now.
some Elden Ring cosplay at MCM next year.
Damn, I still need to do my Solaire cosplay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Cool. I like
So,
that.
so the next thing we're going to watch, and obviously I'm just saying nothing during this.
Yeah, of
segment.
course, yeah,
This
yeah.
is just, I think, be novel for people to see your take on this, especially this next one now. So this is the story trailer.
Okay.
This is a cinematic they put together that they basically put out, I think maybe like a week before the game came out.
Okay.
So it's a big like exposition dump, but obviously because it's almost inscrutable.
Yeah.
Right now for you guys, like we said, without context, I reckon.
Yeah,
But it'd be
yeah.
really funny for you guys to watch this now, and then on the last episode of Roundtable Hold, we'll watch this same video again.
Last ever.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm already sad for a show that is not even out yet.
And then we'll say farewell. It'd be like the last episode of Cheers.
Oh Christ, that's gonna be really
Yeah.
sad. That is.
3 little Ronies just left on the table, empty bottles.
Right, I'm going to search this now, and I'm going to make very sure that I don't put on that other trailer that I just told you about that ruins
Yeah.
loads of the fucking game.
Yeah.
I think
go
by
ahead.
that point, Cruz, because you're learning more and more After Effects stuff and more Da Vinci stuff. I think by that point you'll be so good that you'll be able to do that effect on that guy, Ganon.
Oh,
guy, going,
easy.
like, on a couple
You-
of bottle of Ronin.
It's just like,
Yeah.
you drop into your knees,
Yeah.
Ronies. Fucking. Right, okay. Right one. Okay. This is the story trailer that came out. Let me just tell you when this came out. It came out in February 2022.
Okay.
Oh, this is good. Shall I see if I can? Oh, there's actually subs on this.
Oh, is it?
Like
Okay.
hard coded, I think.
Cool.
Ruins it a bit.
It happened an age ago.
Oh, so good.
But when I recall, I see it true.
Jesus.
No ideas.
Smashed up.
On a
She-
night
she's
of
got
wintry
ring.
fog,
Horses.
See we see.
Wait.
the rune of death.
Do you miss Rewind Theo? Or do you?
The
do you
Rune
want
of Death.
Yeah, it's big, isn't it? Death.
Rune.
And the demigods began to fall,
That guy was in the first trailer as well.
starting with Godwyn.
He
the
was.
Golden.
That person.
The
Godwin.
Golden. Someone's slaying the demigods.
What the fuck? Or turned
But- and-
into something.
And then they're coming back to life as creatures that we have to now go kill.
Yes, please.
Queen Marika was driven to the brink.
Oh.
Holy shit.
So good at it.
The shattering ensued, a war that wrought only darkness. The Elden Ring was broken. But by whom? And why?
What the fuck is that boss?
Bit Anna Londo-y. Gee, oh shit! Am I getting involved in that?
Levi.
What
I'll come when
the
when it's
demigods
finished.
never hoped to win by warring.
See that big tree in the background?
Thank you.
Yeah.
These are the guys I want to meet. Look like legends.
I have a fake arm. Yeah, like a synthetic arm.
What are we using that?
Like a little unseen smell.
The conqueror of the stars, General Radar.
That's how you want to be known, isn't it?
Yes!
And the blade of Mikkel and Melania the Seventh.
Whoa!
These two were the mightiest to remain, and locked horns in combat.
It's alright.
Oh, badass!
Could we be that?
I want that
It's like
armor.
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Jesus! She looks like she's
But
into
there
it.
would be no victor.
He's going Super Saiyan.
And so, we inhabit a fractured world,
We're gonna have to fight him. I
awaiting
guarantee
the
it.
arrival of the Elden Lord.
The Elden Lord. Who's that? Is it me? It could be me.
Could be you.
Unless, of course,
Ooh, this is who's talking to us.
It is you.
thou shouldst take the crown.
Hell yeah!
Done it.
Yeah, we'll have it. Alright, we'll have it. Go on.
Not using it.
What are the hours?
What are the hours? Not for me. Making a shitload doing Let's Plays.
Wow.
That's fucking
Wow,
cool.
wow, wow.
I don't think that's that bad. Like, I don't think it's that spoilerific, really. Because
I mean, without context.
That means
but
fuck
but
all.
also, like, big thing with these games is like episode 1 when you go, what's
Yeah.
that? I could just tell you, can't I?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
pointless because part of these games is the way that they unveil themselves to you over time, and then
Yeah.
later on, in a year and a half, when you watch that back,
Yeah.
it'll almost become like this organizing principle
Yeah,
where you'll
yeah,
go,
yeah.
oh fuck, I can see how it all slots together.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, meaningless.
Absolutely.
All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Just
tell
kinda
you.
gets you
I'm gonna
hyped.
tell you exactly what
Okay.
happens in the game right now.
Okay, cool. Lay it out for us. brother.
So,
okay.
the Elden Ring
Yeah.
was some sort of device that held back the evil,
Yeah.
the abyss, the darkness.
Yeah.
Then someone, we don't know who, shattered it.
Maybe us.
And the dark forces came through, started corrupting the demigods.
Yeah.
So now all the demigods
Remember the word demigods.
are
saying
different.
what happened in that video.
No. We gotta go around. We gotta kill the demigods and get their bit that helps because they all built the Elden Ring. So we gotta
Yeah.
get their powers to rebuild the
Oh,
Elden Ring.
I'm into that, actually.
And then
yeah.
there's gonna be some big showdown where we find out who was the person that
I
broke
think it was
and
us.
we have to walk in.
I'm making a big prediction. We broke the Elden Ring.
Really?
Might have
Yeah.
fight it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna. Yeah, we're not even gonna realize.
Like
Well,
time.
Like a ring.
Like time.
Shall we find out?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You now belong to a select group of fellows. As such, I ask that you remain constant.